first session will be with Israeli Knesset members. We would like to invite to the stage Ohad Tal, Michael Biton, and former member of Knesset Robert Ilatov. And we will be speaking about where is Israel going. Now it's a very challenging question, because here we have the coalition, and then we have the opposition, and then we have Robert Ilatov, who is the co-chair of Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. Please, yeah, you can do whatever you like, because it's going to be, what is easier for you. And so the coalition is first, opposition is joining, so we can make sure that we have all the right answers. I think it was powerful.
Soon he's going to be the opposition, and I'm the coalition. No. So don't give us names. They are temporary.
But
you prayed a lot today, but not enough.
But actually, I loved it. I loved it. This was something I said to Michael. We were lacking Yuda Glick. He always comes and sings the prayer. And now you have taken this position, but you even did more. You bring opposition and coalition, pray together. This has never happened.
I thought my friend, because I invited him to sing together, might say, you can join the coalition. But he kept me aside. Although I was in a coalition with him for a little bit. But now I'm consider it again.
Well, I think it was history made, really, because, you have never prayed together in the Knesset, have you?
We are friends. We talk positive.
Hey.
Yeah, see? You take the microphone.
You want to sing again?
Why not?
Okay.
In the end, we'll give
Okay,
one.
in the end. Okay.
But I just want to emphasize, this is not something that happens in the Knesset, that opposition, coalition. Are you even praying together in the Beit Knesset, in the synagogue in the Knesset?
Not in the Beit Knesset, but, we have the main hall of the Knesset where we're voting and all the ceremonies happening. And at the back, you have a place where you drink coffee. And this is also where we pray from time to time.
You know how the legs of the horse look like?
Mm-hmm.
So that places look like that.
Okay.
Imagine there is hallway around this. That's where we meet.
Like a horseshoe.
Yeah, a horseshoe.
So they yell inside and they hug outside. So
yeah.
Most of them.
Okay.
Some do not talk to each other, but we are friends in the parliament too.
That's good. Now, again, I think we are really seeing at the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast some very unique moments, because last time in Stockholm, you had Simon Davidsson give you a big hug and said, we have to bring this unity and love we see here to the Israeli Knesset. This was, how many of you were in Sweden with us? Yeah, a few of you. So I think it was quite remarkable, and it's very powerful. But now the stage is yours. I don't want to distract you. You can just give your vision and understanding where Israel is going, because we've seen a very shaky moment, of course, October 7, a really earthquake for Israeli society.
There was two rabbis leading the Jews in the Talmud period, in the Mishnah, in the temple time, after the temple time. Hillel and Shammai.
Oh, they argued, I know that.
And Hillel, yes, you are. Hillel was considered that the halakha, the way we act today, is like Hillel. Shammai was a tough guy. And Hillel was looking for peace. And one of his principles is to hear the other before he speaks. So I want him to start.
Okay, I'll be the tough guy. I think if we'll take it seriously for a second, I think Israel is really facing historic moments and also historic opportunities. I spoke about it a little bit before this morning. I think as much as October 7th was a battle for our survival, what happened since October 7th is that we've changed the reality in the Middle East. we're not just fighting. First of all, we do understand that this war is not with Hamas, and it's not with Hezbollah, it's with Iran, okay? On 7 fronts. They have Hezbollah with 150,000 ballistic missiles, an army that they built for decades. In Syria, about 40,000 malicious Shiite soldiers in Syria. Similar number in Iraq, waiting to invade to Israel through Jordan, take down Jordan on the way. Already, by the way, flooding Israel, Judea and Samaria with unbelievable amount of ammunition. The Houthis in Yemen and other places surrounding Israel. And I think that what they've seen, especially in the past couple of weeks in Lebanon and the attacks of Israel in Yemen, all the way to Yemen and in Tehran, I think now many tribes and nations and countries in the Middle East realizing that we are not just fighting for ourselves, we are saving them. Because these Shiites, they want to kill the Sunni, the Muslims, not just as much as they want to kill, more than they want to kill us, actually. So we are literally liberating the Middle East, and we have huge opportunities. So we have to keep, to restrain us, that will be the most horrible thing to do. Israel should keep fighting. Israel should keep winning this war for our sake, for the sake of the Middle East, for the sake of the free world. I can speak again if you want.
I'm not coalition and I'm not opposition.
So that's why he wants to hear you too.
You're from Sweden, Switzerland.
Okay, I think the situation very depends of many conditions. It's not only what Israel wants to do, it depends what is going on with the elections in the United States. And we understand today that unfortunately United States, UN, France, states in Europe, with some ununderstandable wish, want to save Hezbollah and Hamas. And they even pay them money. And they try to get ceasefire in Lebanon. And when I see this situation, I see that Israel is alone. And the opportunity that Israel making today in the Middle East, nobody wants to take it. Even people who want peace in Lebanon want to save Hezbollah in Lebanon. To save Hezbollah in Lebanon, it means that in Lebanon we have a terrorist army with 100,000 people. In any time they can attack Lebanon people, not only Israel, and they did it in Syria. They killed hundreds of thousands people.
500,000 at least.
Even more, with the Iranian militia and Assad forces.
Yeah.
And everybody wasn't quiet. Nobody spoke about any kind of killings and nothing. Even hundreds of thousands Palestinians was thrown out from Syria. Nobody talked about that. As Ambassador Friedman said, no Jews, no news. So the news, we are the main newsmakers. So unfortunately, I don't see that the free world come with Israel to solve the problem. As I said before, the only Arab country today that wanted to solve the problem, it was Saudi that spoke about agreement with Israel.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
And what Hamas did, by the order of Iran, they blow it up. So, as I see, nobody cares about Palestinians at the end, because everybody knows who did the order, but they are manipulating about that and don't want to solve the really problem. And we have to do it by ourselves. Unfortunately, I think that next year is going to be with many war actions to solve the problem of security of Israeli citizens. But it very depends what will happen in United States and decisions of United States new government. No.
So you see another year of a war?
I don't see the end, because France want to keep Hezbollah in Lebanon. They want ceasefire. The ceasefire means that Hezbollah will be in Lebanon, even maybe northern of Litani in a river, but they will stay there with all their army, with all their rockets, and it's only function of money from Iran that they will renew their forces, because the man life, it's nothing for them. They will buy the terrorists for very cheap money, and they will bring more rockets from all over the world to Lebanon through Syria. So I don't see the solution with 7001 or other thing if Hezbollah will stay in Lebanon.
Michael, you have been you have been minister in the Ministry of Defense.
Yes.
So what's your take?
I want to refer also to internal issues. Israel is facing two types of enemies. Internal enemy of hateness in the Israeli society, and tension between groups and identities and ideologies. And then we have external enemies, mainly led by Iran and about 7 proxies all over they created and planted. But you have Syria that can stay enemy. Is a weak state now, but it was our huge enemy for many years. The internal enemy is that over 5 years, we had 5 elections, and our politics became unstable. And during those elections, we accomplished some bad achievements of radical expression and actions and attitudes. And you know, you never blame one side. We all did it. You know, when you go in Yom Kippur and you say Chatanu, Avinu, Pashanu, you don't go to him and you say Chatata, Avita, Pashata.
So it's
You
the
say, I was wrong. I was,
it's the
A good Jew do not do that to someone. Said, I was wrong. I need to. Like you said, we should improve our countries and go and say, apologize and tell them change their attitude toward Israel. So the tikkun, the change, the recoveries, each one should take responsibility. But the result was tension and 5 years election, and the last year before the war was crazy year of protests, 100,000. Some said they are not going to go to the army, which I don't like it. In that internal tension, you have about 50% people here and 50% there. And people would like to have 51% to really feel that 49% are not exist at all. I was in a coalition and the Likud was not in. And that coalition was 61.
You're pointing at Ohad. He's not Likud.
Yeah, he's forever. I am not taking him. But we had 61 in coalition, members of parliament, and 59 in opposition. And I stood in the parliament and I said, half of my nation is not with me. I cannot ignore that. We are split society, divisive society. Yet, when people attacked us, we go to war. We don't ask questions. That's their mistake. They think if we argue, we will never fight. But if someone threatens our existence, we go and unite ourselves. But the internal issue is a big issue. And the recovery of that issue is that we will have united governments with 70, 80% members of Knesset, stable one. My party are the only party who moved between sides. You have Haredic and right wing very tight together 5 times, and central left there. And twice we came to Bibi and said, let's work together on Corona and on the war. And we paid political price to do that. But we need more parties that are flexible so we can expand united government of about 70 to 80 members of Knesset to recover the state of Israel. Because if it's a split society, 50-50, the tension and the elections and the messages are radical. So that's internal.
House divided.
Huh?
House divided will fall.
Yeah, but it's getting to the maximum level of the dangers of it. And some claim that Sinwar was looking on the Israeli society and felt maybe this is the moment to attack. Around us, we were stupid enough to fight the proxies instead of fighting Iran. We were wrong, all of us, to let 20 years of missiles on Sderot and Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and Haifa, 20 years of missiles from time to time, and Sderot every day 20 years, more than 20 years. But we were not smart that if there is missile in Tel Aviv, there will be missile in Tehran and in Isfahan and Shiraz. If we don't have peace to our people, this regime cannot have peace in his capital city. We were wrong that they were smart, the Persian Ayatollah radical, they were smart to do some big damage to the Israeli society with proxies and claiming we are not involved. And we were wrong not to take big price from what they did to us in the first year. And if there is missiles in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and there were missiles there 10 years ago, 20 years ago, missiles will fall in Tehran. We were wrong on that. Lately, we crossed that Rubicon River. Lately, we are attacking in Tehran. We suddenly found we have Yemenite enemies. Did we ever hurt these Houthis? We don't know how they look like. We never met them. What we ever did to you? Did we take land to you, water, money? We have Yemenite people living with us. Why they hate us, the Houthis?
By the way, we haven't taken land from anybody, just to be exact.
I'm saying this is pure case. Don't interrupt. But
No,
do you want to speak?
Take your time. Take your
You
time.
want to elaborate
Half the
on
time
that?
has passed. Take the time.
I'm going to finish soon.
Okay. We're all going to finish soon.
So, we take a look to the future. While we are here, Iran is threatening that they're going to do another round of missiles on Israel. First round, about 200-300 missiles and aircraft without pilots. We were safe. Second round, some damage, not big. The first round, we responded very not meaningful. The second round, we responded meaningful in a way we took their capacity to protect their sky, and we hurted some manufacturing and ammunition. We didn't go into their economic gas and their nuclear system. And the nuclear system is a threat to the world. If the world were smart, it already was attacking that nuclear system because they are closer to accomplish bomb. which is not a big threat to the world. So we cannot anymore respond softly to Iran. If we have missiles, they will have missiles. And regarding as I said, we did the army work, and we really reduced the power of Hamas to 5%, 10%, comparing what it could do before. But in the north, Hezbollah has its own 40% capacity of functioning. And as he said, ceasefire, we might get a ceasefire because pressure and the international and economic and as a break to prepare ourselves to another war. But if you are honest to the people of Israel, you do not anymore take equation of quiet will be responded by quiet. Because that equation was quiet will be respond with quiet and monster that will attack in the day they would like to attack. And for our citizens, we cannot do that. So the end game in Hezbollah must be the end game of Hamas, taking their power as an army to 5-10%, signing agreement with Lebanon peace because we didn't take anything to Lebanon. We have international border. If there is argues of locations, we can solve it, like we did with Egypt. But the agreement will include Hezbollah cannot have weapon, and we have the freedom to act immediately. Last story, what must be changed? I was in a cabinet. We saw this Hezbollah guy crossing the border at some point before the war. And we said, if we kill him, this Nasrallah said that one soldier for one soldier. It's equation. So we let him go back. He crossed our border, did some intelligence, and went back. Israel cannot be anymore quiet on any threat. Even one soldier with a weapon is an enemy.
Thank you. Ohad, you are part of the Foreign Affairs and Security Committee. I know you cannot say all you know, but help us to understand.
I think what I want to refer is also to your question, but also to what was said here about the ceasefire. And I want to say how hypocrite the demand for a ceasefire now is. Because you know that in the past year, Hezbollah was shooting over 13,000 rockets to Israel, 13,000, causing 70,000 Israelis to be evacuated from their homes. Until today, for more than a year, there's 70,000 Israelis out of their homes, refugees in their own homeland. I've never heard international community saying we have to have ceasefire in the past year. Only when Israel responds, then they're saying we have to have ceasefire now. How hypocrite. When Kamala Harris and all her friends, and sorry for getting into that, but I think it's important to understand and to expose the bluff, okay? When she says Israel has the right to defend itself, as if, really, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, have you heard any other nation that is being treated in a way that they're saying that they have a right to defend, as if this is big news? Thank you that the Jewish people has the right not to be killed. But also the problem is that when she says, and all her friends, that Israel has the right to defend itself, she only means that when Hezbollah or Iran shoot the rocket, we can take it down. But do we have the right to attack Iran, to attack Hezbollah, to prevent them the ability to shoot the rocket to begin with? No, that's too much. The Jews exaggerated. So enough. We had enough of this hypocrisy. Israel will defend itself with or without the nations of the world. And thanks to you, I'm sure we will succeed. And I wanted to say something else, but I forgot.
Just please wrap up.
Okay. Oh, now you remember to look at the...
I just read.
Now you want ceasefire. Now you want ceasefire. Just one last thing, yeah. Emmanuel Macron, when Emmanuel Macron, for example, said that he wants to embargo Israel, preventing us, I mean, it's not like we're buying so much ammunition from France. It's okay, they're buying more than from us than we buy from them. But just this approach, trying to please the bully, that's the biggest problem. The conception was that was our problem on October 7th, and that's the biggest problem of the free world, that people and nations and countries and leaders think that if you would pay the bully, he'll leave you alone, you'll buy peace and quiet. It doesn't work this way. We are fighting against an enemy who doesn't want to have peace and quiet. He wants to destroy everything we represent, all the values we stand for. So this is why we have to fight back. And if Israel will have to do that alone, Israel will do that alone.
Thank you so much.